Katie Price has just unveiled yet another dog on her Snapchat. She's cooing that the pup doesn't leave her side, and the internet is already split between disbelief and fury. If you care about animals, if you're following this saga, hit subscribe right now and turn on notifications, because this is the place for straight talk updates and real timelines. In 60 seconds, I'll tell you exactly what she said about this new dog, why charities are calling for a ban, and how this all fits into a grim pattern that goes back years. And yes, we're naming the species, the incidents, and the outcomes so you have the full picture. Here's the breaking update. On Monday, Katie filmed herself with a new dog, breezing past the camera with a face filter, and then casually revealing the pup is Rookie's new little friend for horse riding, walks, everything. She says he's already met all of the other animals, and she can't wait for him to meet Rookie. That's the tone. Playful, upbeat, almost like adding a cute accessory to the lineup. But the context? Nuclear. Because this comes mere weeks after one of the Sphinx kittens from designer Cat Doris's litter died, pushing the tally of animal deaths linked to her care to 8. It also comes after high-profile calls from animal rights groups, including open letters and public offers of cash to stop acquiring animals, urging her to step away from pet ownership altogether. She rejected those pleas. And now, there's a new dog. Let's sit with that for a second and then zoom out. The story of animals around Katie Price has never been about one single freak accident. It's about repetition, a disturbing, documented run of tragedies, near misses, roadside deaths, vanishing pets, rehomed dogs, and a revolving door of species that never seem to find stability. She says it's bad luck. But to lovers of animals, bad luck stops sounding convincing after the 3rd, 4th, 5th time the same kinds of incidents keep happening. We'll get to that pattern in a moment, but first, the present day. The timing of this new dog is astonishing. Public concern is already spiking over her recent tour, no-shows, late arrivals, and that widely reported on-stage vaping moment. Her boyfriend, JJ Slater, is said to be worried she's running herself into the ground. Fans have been asking what's going on with her health. Amid all of that turbulence, with kittens in and out of emergency vets and a long history of animal chaos behind her, she decides to bring home another dog to add to an already crowded, high-stress menagerie. If you can feel your jaw clenching, you're not alone. Now, let's deliver the facts that make this so controversial. Start with the roadway tragedies. There was the horse that got out and was killed on the A24 in 2017. A nightmare scenario any responsible owner dreads and plans against. Then multiple dogs, different years, same danger zone, escaping and being struck by cars near the same property. Queenie, a German Shepherd, killed by a driver who reportedly didn't stop. Sparkle, another Alsatian, later hit on the same stretch. Sharon, the tiny Pomeranian, also reportedly killed on the road. Blade, the protection dog, killed in 2023. That's not one unlucky day. That's a multi-year pattern of animals reaching busy roads near a home that tabloids long ago dubbed the Mucky Mansion. Even if each escape had a different immediate cause, a gate, a latch, a moment of human error, the broader question is unavoidable. Why do animals keep getting out and meeting the same fate? Then there are the small animal incidents that make your stomach drop. The French bulldog puppy that suffocated under an electric chair mechanism, a tragic household hazard compounded by the revelation she was told give the dog CBD oil, something vets later warned could encourage a puppy to hide in tight, unsafe spaces. A pet chameleon that died amid allegations the home wasn't warm enough during money troubles. A hedgehog gifted to a child in a house already bursting with dogs, then lost for 2 weeks in the maze of that property. 2 hairless cats that were introduced, then talked about being sold because the dogs didn't get on with them. Later resurfacing in sporadic posts, the status never clearly explained. And of course the revolving door of dogs rehomed or given away when things don't work out, including a German Shepherd pup reportedly jettisoned after he didn't look cute on Instagram anymore. In each case, the explanation shifts. The outcome for the animal doesn't. With that history, animal organizations began doing what they do, sounding alarms. They issued statements about basic kitten care, warning that newborns shouldn't be carted around venues, tours, or strange environments before vaccinations and proper weaning. They cautioned that bottle feeding newborns is specialist, high-risk work, and should be under vet guidance. They asked the obvious: when is enough enough? Instead of a pause, we now get another dog added to the roster. And not quietly, publicly, cheerfully. He doesn't leave my side. Let's be crystal clear. Loving animals is not the same as being fit to care for many of them at once. You can adore creatures and still, through chaos, overextension, or poor planning, put them in harm's way. That's why you're hearing people demand a ban. Not out of spite, but out of exasperation that the same storyline keeps ending in suffering. And before anyone says, this is a pile-on, remember that we're not talking about a single mistake from 10 years ago. We're talking about a list. A long one. A horse dead. Multiple dogs dead. A puppy dead in a preventable household hazard. A chameleon dead. A hedgehog lost. Cats swapped in and out. And now a brand new dog added when the last month alone featured a neonatal kitten death and multiple vet runs. You might also notice the pattern of public presentation. When things go badly, the updates land on social media with a tone that often feels breezy or defensive. A quick apology, a little shrug, talk about bad luck and haters. Then straight back to filming, touring, and dropping new music. That's the whiplash. It's not just the incidents, it's the speed at which the page is turned. 1 minute an A&E snap, the next minute eyebrow laminations. 1 minute an emergency vet, the next minute a face-filtered selfie with a new puppy pressed to the chest. Over and over, the animals are props in a storyline that moves at influencer speed, while their needs move on a very different timeline. Structure, routine, stability, quiet. Let's talk logistics, because this matters. Responsible multi-pet ownership is a job. It's fencing and gates checked daily. It's microchipping and secure collars. It's leashes, crates, training, recall, safe zones, and slow, controlled introductions. It's not shoving a small dog inside a jacket while riding a horse. It's not taking pre-vaccinated kittens on the road. It's not adding a new canine when you're already living out of suitcases between venues, filming sessions, hospital visits, and family drama. The schedule she is living and the animals she is collecting do not match. That delta is where the risk lives, and it keeps spilling out onto roads, into vet clinics, and across the internet in the form of grief posts. Some will argue she's securing the new property now, that the garden is finally safe, that lessons have been learned. That would be welcome news if it had come before the last several tragedies, and if it were accompanied by a quieter, more cautious approach. Not a puppy reveal, but a pause. Not a tour of exotic or high-needs breeds, but a simple, steady plan with fewer animals and more training. If that shift were real, we'd cheer it on. But buying another dog in the middle of this storm doesn't feel like a shift. It feels like the same story. I also want to address the refrain that people just hate her and will twist anything. No. A lot of people once liked Katie, still like her, or at least root for her to get well and get stable. Many viewers watched her earlier documentaries with compassion. But empathy for a person and outrage at animal harm are not mutually exclusive. In fact, plenty of her critics are the same fans who cried over the puppy, who worried about the kittens, who screamed online the first time a dog was hit, and the second, and the third. They don't want to dunk on her, they want the catastrophes to stop. So what happens now? The new dog is here. The kitten saga is still raw. The tour remains chaotic. Her partner is reportedly concerned about her health and pace of life. If we're honest, nothing in that pile suggests the conditions for calm, consistent animal care have improved. If anything, everything looks more volatile than it did before. That's why the calls for a pet ban keep getting louder, because the public has lost faith that self-regulation will work. There is a way out of this, and it's not glamorous. It's boundaries, not puppies. It's fewer animals, not more. It's private training sessions, not live streams. It's months of quiet routine and boring progress. Yard checks, door discipline, place training, crate calm, recall, reactivity work, enrichment that tires out the brain, and a vet working alongside a trainer to set a real program. It's asking for help and sticking with it. And it's resisting the dopamine hit of new pet reveal content until there is hard proof that the foundation, literal and metaphorical, is solid. Until then, every new animal looks like a headline waiting to happen. And if your instinct is to say, "Stop buying animals, please," that doesn't make you a hater. It makes you someone who's learned from the past. The animals didn't choose the home. Adults did. Adults can also choose to stop. If you've stayed with me this far, you care. And caring is what the animals never had a say in. Do me a favor, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video with the biggest pet lovers you know, because the more eyes on this pattern, the fewer chances it has to repeat. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think there should be a formal ban on her owning new pets? Would you support conditions, monitoring, or a mandatory education program? And if you've been through a multi-pet house gone off the rails, what finally fixed it for you? I read everything, I answer as many as I can, and yes, we will keep tracking every development. For the animals' sake, this has to be the moment the cycle breaks. Subscribe so you don't miss the next update.